It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
Tyrone Lowe. One. Hello, everyone. This is Tyrone Lowe from the show The Legends, and I have a special guest today. His name is Aron Prince. How you doing, Aron?
I'm good. He woke me up. I can't complain.
Well, you know what? We all feel the same way today. So, you know what? We're going to start with the beginning of how you actually got into the music get into your craft of actually music.
Let's see. I won't tell my age, but I'm a certain age. I discovered house music in, I think, the summer of 1986. When I was fresh out of high school and going into college, and met a guy. I was giving a guy a ride to our local college, the first one I was in school. And there was Inner City, I think, playing on the radio station. We called it the Big DM in Florence, South Carolina, my home state. And
Okay.
I asked him what was that music. He said, "Oh, that's house music," and it was big in DC and big in Chicago. And I think I was the only one in my town that actually listened to house music. So I was a collector back then. Fast forward to Tent City and a diva, and you know the rest. Moved to
Right.
Jersey in September of 1988, and discovered a club called Cheetah by accident, and lost my mind when I went in there. And prior to that, I was a freestyle dancer. I listened to Latin freestyle and you know, hip hop and R&B. And
Right.
so being a natural dancer by the grace of God, I was able to learn how to switch to house dancing, if you will, and kind of lost my balance with doing freestyle and hip hop. But luckily, I joined a dance show, a TV show in my home state again. I went back down, and I was on it for a year. Then I moved back to New Jersey, Patterson, New Jersey, and then I moved to Newark, discovered Club Zanzibar, lost my mind there, and the
I
rest of
lost my mind there too, so you're not the only one.
and so, you know, that's when I really just lost it. You know, they snatched me up, adopted me, but and
Right.
then I moved to start going to clubs in New York City. That's when they call it the big super clubs. You know, the Palladium, Tunnel, Limelight, Kilimanjaro. I never went to Mars, but I went to the Shelter, and the original Shelter. And then I was in a Boston market on 23rd Street and 8th Avenue, and they had a house music record playing on this the restaurant sound system. And a Peruvian DJ producer came in, and he noticed me dancing around and some customers, right? And so he said, "You into house?" I said, "Yeah, I'm a house music dancer." He said, "You know, I'm a producer." I said, "You know what? I've always jokingly, I said, I always wanted to do a song." He said, "Really?" He said, "Here's my card. My studio is right upstairs." I was like, "Stop playing." He said, "Seriously, I'm a producer." Went to studio. We did a song, my first song called "Living in Fear," in 3 hours. And I had pretended to be, because I'm from deep south, so I pretended to be a guy from England. I changed my voice up to sound like British. It recorded a song, and it became a big hit. It ended up in Billboard magazine, being reviewed by Larry Flick back then. And I
Okay.
thought it was a joke. And so one night, my best friend was in the tunnel, and DJ Duke put it out on his label, and he did a remix of it. And so they said, they're playing your song in the tunnel. I said, no, no, no. So I came to New York City and went to the tunnel. And I think the bouncer told him, Junior Vasquez, that
Okay.
Aron Prince was in the building. So he led me up to, I guess, where his booth is. And I stood on the floor, and he went upstairs and let him know Aron Prince out. So he way back down, and he put my track on. And I was like, this was crazy, because I never heard myself being played in a club before. That was my very first time.
And how was
And
the crowd reaction to that?
they were losing it.
I can imagine.
They were losing it, but I didn't let them know who I was.
Right.
And my best friend with her big mouth saying, "This is my best friend. This is my best friend." I'm like, "What they mean?" Because I'm sensitive about my writing, but you know, but it did very well. And then I'm sorry, that's my phone. Let me just think this. They're doing business. I'm sorry. Anyway, from there I started. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Just keep
That's my
going.
song there because I'm on my MacBook. But anyway, from there I started writing my own song because that song was written by a white guy who was a rock and roll um, guitarist.
Okay.
And I never learned how to write lyrics. And I said, I'm a poet. He said, well, write something down in an essay and I'll turn it to lyrics for you. And that's the secret behind that first song that I did.
Right.
And then after that, um, I started writing myself, and I joined BMI as a writer and as a publisher. Then I started going to the studio, and I met several producers and started doing singles and whatnot. And then I said, I want to have my own business. So I went back to school, and I transferred to NYU and studied business. And I started my own record label out of a marketing class. In the marketing class, we had to do for our final project, we had to do a paper or a business. And so I did a record label and did it through CD Baby. And so a year later, I brought an album. I did a whole album, brought it back, and called my professor, and I said, "Listen, I'm giving you a copy of my album." He said, "Are you serious? You really did?" I said, "I came to school not only to learn something, but to apply what I learned in school."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the history of my label. And I opened it January 30th, 2004. And so here we are, 16 years later?
Yeah. You're a spoken word artist.
Yeah.
And what other spoken word artists influenced you, to actually do what you do? I know there's quite a few. So just name a few for me.
But well, they're not house music artists. Let me start with them. My Gil Scott Heron, hands
Okay.
down. Gil Scott. That's
Okay.
it. And I do have a non-house music album called Spoken Words that came out a few years ago. I can't remember the year. Not too long ago, but that came out. But house music is my specialty because it's my soul, that's my love, and first love. But I'm a spoken word artist. I do sing. I'm a second tenor. But when it comes down to the music, I do spoken word.
Mm-hmm.
Ironically, you love to hear my voice. I can't stand my voice. I'm from the deep south. I've been in the city for a long time, but even still, that's the thing with that. But spoken word has always been my passion because I have a passion for writing.
Aron, you did a lot of tracks, and which one of your tracks would you say actually intensified you the most? Because we all got our favorites as far as being artists and producers and things of that nature.
Lyrically, or from the music itself, or the lyric itself? Because there's a difference.
The lyrics itself.
Okay, the lyrics. Ooh, oh my God. There's my song called Mandingo,
Mm-hmm.
and that deals with the misperception and visual representation of black men and men of color in the media. And so when I wrote that, I can't remember the reason I wrote that song specifically, but the impact it had. And the reason I say that because on Twitter, I had shared a video for that, and I was shocked when I received a tweet from a white female from California who was a poet.
Right.
She retweeted a quote, one of my lyrics, part of the lyrics of the song, and quoted back to me, and she had like this thumbs up. And it's something about emotional glaucoma. I can't remember how the words go, but it's something about emotional glaucoma.
Right.
And because sometimes we get so blinded and based on perception that we see. So when you see that black person, you automatically think all kind of crazy things except the good things, if you will. And so I'm big on visual presentation, and not on visual presentation, but lyrical presentation. So when you listen to my songs, I want to make sure that you think or have a thought or you learn something.
Right.
People consider me a teacher. My nickname is Professor, but I like to share. And I like when I write, I want you to close your eyes and listen to my music and imagine some me and you having a direct conversation, if that makes sense.
you know, for what I see from you as being an artist, you have a very spiritual, cultural thing about you, where you make a person go into a spiritual realm, you know, through your lyrics and actually the music as well. That's my perception of you. I see that you do a lot of things that are spiritual as well, and I believe that's a good look as far as you being an artist. You know, I got all your tracks, you know, and I played them and I listened to them, and I see that you have a spiritual culture thing going on. So,
Thank you.
Right now, what we're gonna do, we're gonna take a break, and then we're gonna go into the second segment of the show.
Okay.
And so, you guys just stay tuned. We'll be right back.
It's not just mine, his or her house. This is our house.
My assignment, my calling is to inspire, uplift.
You have to make sure your people are partying.
All I want to do is just bring joy to the dance floor and watch people dance.
Tino.
got some fun people in the house tonight.
This is our house.
We're back again. This is Tyrone Lowe from the show The Legends, and we have the incredible spoken word artist, Aron Prince. Aron, let's talk about your group page, Hot Topics.
Okay.
You know, tell the viewers what's it all about, you know, because you do a lot as far as just being an artist. You actually write a lot as well, and you actually share a lot. So let's talk about some of that.
All right. Well, okay. In general, people will see me on social media, and I usually post. I post every day. If I'm bored, I'm just kidding. Various topics because I took a new information technology course years ago at my my alma mater at NYU, and my professor was from China, and he taught us how to look at the media representation of certain things and things that are edited and not shared properly and whatnot, and learn how to analyze and abstract and then do your own research. And so I started doing that when I first joined Facebook years ago. I started posting various things that's not found in mainstream media, if you will, because sometimes the mainstream media can only give you but snippets of whatnot. And if you're not sharp enough to really dive into something and really explore it properly, you miss the mark, if you will. And so I started sharing things, and then I gained a lot of following on my Facebook page. And so someone said you should start doing a channel, which I have a music channel, but not for like political type of stuff. And so I started my main music group is Aron Prince Music Entertainment Group. I think that's the name of it. But anyway, I did Hot Topics, which I just started recently because I'm going to start doing monthly Hot Topics. And Hot Topics are things that make us uncomfortable, things that we don't like to talk about, whether it goes from race, sexual orientation, religion, political persuasions, you know, affiliations, and so on and so forth. And things that just make you stop and say, let me read that. So that's the nature of that.
You know, so how has the pandemic been, you know, how's it been treating you, and what's your perception of it?
Well, I don't have a perception of it. My present day understanding of it that pandemics aren't necessarily new to us, the human species, race, but what people don't really know about me, apart from outside of music, I do a lot of research, and I'm big on documentaries. And so this is nothing new to me. I kind of foresaw it back in the fall, and I just started, even though I'm American and I'm here in America, but I like to see what's going on around the world globally. And I'm always thinking, okay, if it affects them, what will it happen? What will happen to us if it happens to be here with us? And unfortunately, it's here with us. That being said, when we started seeing the coverage of it in the news back in March or whatnot, I was out literally shopping and buying things and stocking up, if you will. I didn't wait till the last minute. I didn't stock up on all the tissue, the basic things. And also, I started contacting friends and music business friends around the country and whatnot. Like I stopped going to the studio. Ironically, I have it affected me financially because I had lost out on some bookings. But I mean, I'm grateful still, but it affected me as a music artist. I was in the process of recording an album, but we had to cut that short, and so I had to cut it down to an EP, which is coming out on my birthday. And so it's things like that, how it affects my my recording aspects, not being able to go to the studio, not being in the studio with my producer. You know? So it put a damper on my production party, if you will.
So, Aron, what other producers have you worked with, doing your craft?
Well, I have a main producer out of he's from the Bronx. He's a black Puerto Rican dude. He's so and he's just my brother. He's a little younger than me, and I adopt him as a brother. We've been working together since 2003.
I met him. Remember, we went to the studio together, when you was doing EMT.
Yeah, we family, and he's my main producer. He's the producer that screens all tracks that come to me. He won't let me get on the track unless he say, and if he doesn't do the track, his screen tracks people send to me. And if you
Right.
say, man, that's not good, leave it alone, I'll do that. I have a main one. I have another one in France, Arnold D. Arnold D. He's French dude. He's like 31, 32. He's phenomenal. I have Joseph Davis out of East Orange.
Mm-hmm.
He'll claim he actually did Mandingo. And I kind of think, who else did I work with? I worked with DJ Beloved on a track.
Okay.
Oh, you're an Eagle. But I just stick with those main three. I've done work with DJ XT out of South Africa. So
Okay.
I keep that, but I kind of stick with my main producer and the guy in France because I pick producers based on a sound that I want for a particular song.
Right.
And I'm a Virgo, so I'm really anal, and people don't like that about Virgos, but
I'm a Virgo too, so welcome to the club.
And when I write a lyric,
Uh-huh.
I'm in a different mindset, and then my voice, I control my voice, so I definitely don't sound like this here. But I try to marry each syllable, not just word, but each syllable of a word of the song to the right beat. So
Right.
when you get the final production, you're like, wow.
Okay.
Because I like to be different, and I have a philosophy: eagles never flock with pigeons, so I don't like to do the pigeon music. No shade, but I want myself to sound good.
I hear you, Aron. You know, as far as artists are concerned, do you have any suggestions for them? You know, young people that are actually coming into the craft, you know, of the industry.
Learn the business, copyright. Learn if you can't write, find someone who knows how to write. But if you write, learn the business. Starting with copyright business, learn the business of management. Don't assume that everyone is a manager. There's a time when you will need a manager when you're really doing well, but if you're starting out, learn the business side of it. Join a performance rights organization, BMI, ASCAP, CSAC. But copyright things also, if you're performing, learning how to use performing agreements, get things in writing, dating and document, because sometimes we do the word of mouth, even if it's down to a friend, a brother, your wife, a husband, something, put it in writing, because God forbid anything, anything can happen, you know what I mean? So we just be mindful of that, because sometimes we don't do things, we don't, how to say, take at the business side.
Right.
It starts getting ugly. And me, I'm very professional. I make sure my producers get paid. I do everything via email, basic PayPal, things like that, because I like to keep a paper trail and then make sure that I have a philosophy. When I'm developing a relationship with you, whoever you are in the music industry, I want to know that you won't take my name and say, you know what? Oh, don't work with Aron because he don't pay people or he burns people. You will never get that out of me because I like to be able to sleep. And I think at the end of the day, we're still human. And being professional. When I'm performing, I like to have fun or whatever, but I'm always professional.
Okay. Let's talk about your new track. Let the viewers know about it, And
the new track is called The DJ is an EMT. And that, if you listen to the original, that was based on a song. The song I did was about. I went to Sunday sermon a few years ago. I think about 3 years ago, and a guy literally died, but in front of the stage.
Right.
And so, if you listen to the lyrics, it's true story. The first part of the song is a true story situation, and they revived him, took him to Harlem Hospital, I think, but he never pulled through. But he was literally dead and dropped dead. And so,
story.
If you listen to the words, it talks about how you die. You kind of like die doing something that you love, and he was so intense. And just watching him just be taken over by the music, and so it inspired me with that. That's the moral of the story. Yeah.
So let's talk about some upcoming events. I know that a lot of them have been shut down, but I'm sure that you have some prior that might be surfacing.
I'm performing August 23rd. Got the location
Brooklyn.
I think it's in Brooklyn, but I can't remember.
I forgot the name of it. I think it's Lafayette Park or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah,
something of that nature. Yeah.
Yeah, it's in Brooklyn. I'm performing on a Sunday. It's August 23rd. And I was contacted by a promoter, and she said she want nobody else but me. So I don't know what it is I do.
Okay. And you know, we miss you from the Coney Island thing when you performed in Coney Island.
Yeah.
You really turned it out. I was like, wow, look at Aron.
I cried. You know what it is? You know what? So I cried that day. It was my birthday because when it was my birthday, and I just broke down in tears because I remember hearing the news about a guy, a father who lost his 5-year-old son washed away in the Bahamas in Puerto Rico.
Okay.
They had a storm in the Bahamas, and so I just had my birthday, and I said, you know what? I told Jesus, I said, stop the music. I said, because God gave me another birthday, but I keep thinking about that father who lost his 5-year-old son being washed away, and it was surrounded by the sharks, stuff like that. And so when I performed the song Another Day, I was saying, be grateful for another day. And I keep telling people, listen to my song Another Day, just something so basic. Mm-hmm. You know, what we're doing right now, we having another day to do this here. And I try to write songs that makes and after I did that song, it was 2 people walk up to me. And it was one guy, he was a homeless guy, and he was crying. And he hugged me, and I was like, oh, wait, hold up. He thought he was hitting on me, right? And I was like, oh, wait. So he hugged me. He said, look at me, I'm crying. I said, well, he said, your words, man. He said, I could tell you're a spiritual person. Mm-hmm. And then I just start crying some more. He said, your words move me. And that blew my mind because I'm always, like Erykah Badu say, I'm sensitive about my words. Mm-hmm. But I always try to write a song that if I can't touch you, move you, then I haven't done my job as an artist and as a writer. And you can write a lot of fun tracks, drop, boom, 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 ba, ba, ba. That's not me. I could do it. But I like to talk to people so you can walk away and say, oh, I know that guy. He has something to say. I learned something from him.
Right. That's a good thing. So viewers, we are in the house of the legends with Aron Prince. And Aron, I am so flattered to have you on my show, and I thank you so much. You know, thanks for being informative, you know, especially with the industry thing. And I hope that, you know, viewers, that you got a lot out of it. And we're going to say thank you. And hopefully somewhere along the line you come back to my show. Okay.
Most certainly.
And I will be there. I will be there to support you on the 23rd. You know, I'll definitely be there. And thanks again for being on the show. And viewers, this is another T-Lo video production, and we thank you so much. Stay tuned for another one. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.